and I reference Tony Robbins again, because cognitive behavioral therapy, which is really all he does, is a big part of recovery. You know what I mean? That's like kind of what the program is, you know what I mean? But like people just don't realize that. But he jumps in like a cold tank every morning, you know what I mean? And his saying is, I've never woke up and like been excited to jump in this cold tank, you know what I mean? My inner voice, my little soft, squeaky voice is stay in bed and be comfortable. But his thing is, when I say go, we go. You know what I mean? And that's become a saying that I've used. When I say go, we go. You know, stay in bed, don't go to the meeting. You know, sit on the couch, don't go to the gym. I'm like, no. I listened to this voice too long, for too many years, and it ran my life into the fucking ground. You know what I mean? And for the first time in my life, we shared yesterday, I have this affection for myself. I like myself. I love myself today for the first time since I've been a kid, because I'm finally doing what I say I'm going to do. And, you know, that goes into the pick your hard thing that we talk about. Like, that one way or another, there's going to be pain in your life. You know what I mean? But one avenue will pay you a price later. You'll get a reward. The other one will seem easier in that moment to stay on that couch, but you'll pay down the line when you're in bad shape and you hate the way you look, when you're using again and you hate the way you are. You know what I mean? Instead of doing what you needed to do in that moment and seeing the dividends reap later, you know? So once I learned that, I'll share a little story with you real quick. Once I learned that, it all changed for me, because I realized I didn't have to answer to my brain, to the negative aspect of my brain and my addiction anymore. The story I'm going to share, I was at treatment July 2021, the last time I went, and it would have been early August. My clean date is July 30th, 2021. That's my clean date. My birthday is July 23rd, which is cool because it's bittersweet. I'm a year older, but then I get a new year, more time clean. It's cool. But I remember reading that book. The book actually that drove this was the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. And she's a lady, and she talks about how motivation is bullshit, like what we're talking about, how self-discipline is what it has to be. There are days where we're motivated to work out and stuff like that. I know you guys have done the Murph challenge a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe like that first time when everyone's doing it, you're a little motivated. But times after that, man, it's discipline that carries you through that. The third month at 5 a.m. when it's cold. Like you ever been like, I'm super excited to do this? Like, no, you know it's going to suck, but you do it anyways, and that's the victory. But I was walking out of the auditorium after it's like a big lecture hall there. It's a really high-end facility. The Cleveland Clinic runs it. And everything, I had my 4th step I was working on in recovery, which is a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves, where you focus on your character defects as well as your assets. You look at resentments you have with people and what part you played in it, instead of blaming them your whole life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what the 4th step is. You'll hear about the 4th step in recovery. It's really like a big deal. I wrote 28 full pages on my 4th step. You know what I mean? Everything from issues with family members to, I use a step working guide from NA. They call it the Flat Book, and there's questions, and it's really, really good. But anyways, I had procrastinated on my step work throughout my recovery, and I relapsed over and over. So I'm like, I got to work on my 4th step, man. Like, it has to get done. And I was walking out of the auditorium, and everything in me was like, go left to the outside to like play volleyball, and like, I don't even smoke, but you're in rehab, so you're like smoking some cigarettes. Like, you're bored, have a cigarette and like talk to some people or whatever. But that other voice in my brain, there's a meditation room down to the right, and it's a real nice, like, serene room. I found a lot of peace in there, and had a lot of like great moments in there. And it was like, go to that meditation room and get back to work on your 4th step. And in that moment, that was like a real distinct moment where I took control of my life, because I went right. I went to the meditation room. I didn't go left. I didn't let my brain tell me go take that easy, soft. That was your pick your hard thing. And I wrote my 4th step, and I did that every day for about 5-6 days, and I finished it, but that was just kind of like an example of a crossroads that I had, you know what I mean? Where I took control of my life, and it might seem simple, but it was a big moment for me. So.
It's building self-confidence.
Yeah.
And this is actually something that I learned from Alex years ago. People think that you look at somebody and you're like, wow, that guy's really confident. He must have been born that way.
Yeah, right.
But that's not the case.
No,
it's that the confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself.
Oh, so good. You're so right.
And I think about the times in my life whenever I don't feel as confident, because it's not like you're not a certain level of confident your whole entire life.
No.
It's a swinging scale. Mm-hmm. There's times, at least I think, when you can be more confident and when you can be less confident. And I think about the times in my life when I'm less confident, and it's directly attributed to the way that I'm acting towards myself.
Oh, for sure.
Did I let something little slip? Did I compromise with that small decision? Well, that's why you don't feel as confident. That's why you don't feel as adequate, because you let those small things fall through the cracks.
It's such a good point, man. I mean, it's the truth. I love how you said it's not like built. Like, yeah, like somebody might be like a stud athlete or whatever, like tall and handsome or whatever, so they like maybe have more natural confidence or whatever, but let that person neglect their responsibilities and, you know, they'll fall apart too. You know, they'll start to resent their self, you know, compared to somebody that, you know, maybe was born with less or not as, you know, naturally gifted or whatever it might be, but they do what they say they're going to do and they work their ass off, and they're going to end up having that confidence that puts you in the zone. You know, like lately I feel like I'm in that zone, you know, and I've been in it for a while. I fell out of it in the fall because I stopped working out. You know what I mean? Fitness is like a huge part. I mean, it's like what you guys do. You know, we're all athletes, and you guys know better than anyone that like I told my sponsor, I'm no good without it. You know what I mean? I start to crumble, and every time that I've stopped working out, I've relapsed every time. Wow. And every single time I've stopped working out, my brain goes to, what else do I know to feel good? You know what I mean? And for me, that's drugs. You know, that's just what drugs and alcohol. And I was able to catch it this time because the pain became great enough. You know, the self-discipline, the pick your hard came up. I was like, it's harder for me to sit around and hate the fact that I'm not working out, my muscles shredding off my body, and that I'm talking a big game about self-discipline in meetings, and I'm not even going to the gym. You know what I mean? And one day I was like, when I say go, we go. And I went, and I've been back for like probably 6 weeks now, and my confidence is back again. You know what I mean? And I lost some muscle and this and that, but that's another area that I've worked on, is not being so hard on myself. You know, it's like when I reach out to Alex to train with him, March of, it'll be 2 years in March that we started working out. And I was humble enough to admit that I didn't have the discipline on my own. So I was willing to pay to be trained, because I knew I had to suit up and show up and work out with him. I wasn't going to let him down. I wasn't going to spend the money and not go. And that's why, like, that helped me so much, and why it's invaluable to, if you can't get your ass in the gym or whatever like that. It was like having a fitness sponsor, you know, recovery. I have a sponsor that helps push me. Like, I needed somebody to push me, but, you know, whenever I started like back on that journey, you know, it's like, I just, you know, you put so much work into, you know, doing something to come and work that hard. Like, it's just such a terrible feeling to like stop working out, or like get off your grind and be like, I put in all this time and effort and all this. And I think that is what saved me from like just not getting back to it at all. You know what I mean? Although it was like a lapsed 2 or 3 months in fitting and working out, I knew that's where I belonged. You know what I mean? I've proven to myself that's when I'm at my best, and when I get in that zone. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That was kind of like a side point, but
no, I think you're right. I think fitness is so instrumental, and it's a catalyst to so much change in your life. I've always said, if you look good, you feel good, you perform well.
Oh, for sure.
And not only that, it gives you a natural rush of endorphins, and you're cultivating the skill of discipline when you're building your body.
That's the best example.
It is, because there's so many days you might wake up, oh Christ, I'm sore as fuck. Like, there's no way I'm going. But then you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's so much that fitness can relate to. Like I said, rules of the game, right? Mm-hmm. The fitness translates so well, if you let it, to business, which it sounds like dovetails very well into recovery.
Yeah. Same rules. Yep.